You've probably heard of Etsy, an internet version of eBay for artists and artisans selling handmade products. Now there's a place for artisans in San Diego where arts and crafts have been juried and curated for this weekend showcase called the Maker's Arcade. Here with the details are Valentina Vianney, from a painter and silkscreen artist whose silkscreened items are in shops throughout San Diego, and Jen Byard, a designer and member of Handmade Revolution, the group behind this Saturday's Maker's Arcade. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Jen, you're going to have 25 vendors selling their handmade items Saturday. What makes this different than, let's say, other arts and craft shows?
You know, we have carefully juried and curated this show, so it's kind of the best. And we have a very wide variety of products that are all made locally, and they're all handmade. So some really special stuff.
So it's very local, it sounds like. Now, Valentine, you're very local, and you make silkscreen dish towels. Some of them are here, scarves, and you actually make other fabrics as well. What did it take to turn your passion for doing this work into a full-time job or business?
First, it came from demand, actually. I work with a lot of designers in San Diego, and originally I started fabric because a designer couldn't find a print. And so I created a print to work, you know, for her project. And it kind of grew from there. So a lot of the things that I've done are through collaborations. And
if you had to give advice for people wanting to follow in your footsteps, whether it's making the beautiful silk screens that we see here or something else, what would be sort of some bullet points that you would say? How do you go from doing this, which I know you started in your home, to getting it in shops?
Design is probably the 10% of the business, and then after that it's about learning how to promote yourself, how to present it properly, do right packaging, how to work with people, listen to what works. You know, when you go to a store, what they'll tell you a lot of the time, what works and what doesn't work. It could be even something like a color. Your design's right, but the color's not right.
So kind of getting that feedback, it sounds like.
Yes, ask questions is very important. I ask questions all the time.
In speaking of learning experiences, Jen, I know you discovered that a lot of people were interested in making their own things after hearing your story of what you do. You started this program called Urban Craft Camp. What happens at Urban Craft Camp?
Yes, my partner and I started Urban Craft Camp about a year ago, and so it came out of that. People would see a product that I had made or that Anna had made, and were just curious about how to make it. And so at Urban Craft Camp, we give women and some men the opportunity to come and learn a skill or learn how to make a particular product, and it's also in an environment that is a very pampering, and just it's an experience for them as well. So it's beautifully decorated, they get food and drinks, and then they get to learn a skill at the same time.
Is there some marketing to that as well, or you sort of save that for a next phase?
Yeah, that's the next phase for sure.
Okay. I also know, Jen, you're a member of Handmade Revolution. It's the group putting on the Maker's Arcade event. What is this group? What is its mission, and who's involved in it?
Handmade Revolution is a group of artists in primarily the North Park, South Park neighborhood, and it was formed about 5 years ago. Just a bunch of friends who were all artists and crafters, and put this group together and have been doing trunk shows for the last 5 years. And so this Maker's Arcade actually kind of came out of that. A lot of other artists asking if they could participate in these trunk shows, which were smaller events at homes. And so this is a larger event that has the same feel and flavor as a Handmade Revolution trunk show.
Okay, and Valentine, why do you think that people would actually want to shop for handmade products, let's say at the arcade or in shops, versus going on Etsy or other forms of online buying?
There's a couple of reasons. One, it's much more personal. You know who the artist made the products. Another one is, for instance, on Etsy, I've sold a lot of things, but they'll say, you know, I really like this, but could I have it in pink, you know? And so you can say, sure. And so you can have custom things done. I think that would be a couple of things. You just know where it's from, and it seems to have more soul. It's just more, it's got more character. And it might not be perfect, and that's kind of nice, you know?
It's
unique.
Handmade. It's absolutely. And Jen, same question for you though. Why do you think? I mean, you can go on Etsy or some of these other places and get different products. Why come to an arcade, or why come and do this and touch the products?
You know, I think partly that when you're ordering off Etsy or other places, a lot of times it looks like something in a picture, but when you receive it, it's different. So here they can come and touch and feel, and it's such a wide variety of things as well. They really get to come and pick and choose what they want. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, let me tell folks what they can, where they can go. They can go to the Makers Arcade this Saturday, April 26th, at the Glass House in Barrio, Logan. It starts at 11 a.m. and admission is free. Valentine Vianney and Jen Bayard, thank you so much.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.